Welcome back, friends. Today we are going to discuss the section. Now this is the first video. It's an introductory video. It's going to be very small video, and this is just the introduction of the section called as damn risky options. Now, why damn risky option is that I've given this heading is that just to make it a little bit funny. That is point number one. Point number two is that there are some risks. Like whenever you are doing an option trading, there are risks, and it is better to be aware about those risks so that you can find out ways to mitigate them, and may be able to take care of those risks and do the trade accordingly. Okay. Now, in this, there could be thousands of risks, but we cannot identify each of them. Okay, and a lot of such risks are out of our control because we are just a very small in retail investor with 5 lakh rupees as our investment budget, and this whole market, we are at the mercy of them, like of the whole market. There are a lot of risks that which are not in our control, but just to be aware about them, it helps tremendously. Okay, just to be aware about this kind of risk, it helps us tremendously, and there are also ways to mitigate a lot of risks. So in this section we are going to make 15 videos. So this is the first video of that is the introduction, and I have listed down the 14 different kind of risks that you are going to face when you are trading in the options, and those risks will create one video for each of those risks. Even if it is a small risk, we'll create a separate video so that you can understand that and see it properly. And there are some steps to avoid the risk. There are some risks which are related to your trading behavior, and that absolutely you can avoid those risks. Okay, most of the risks are not in our control, but there are few risks which are in our control which we can avoid. Okay, now we'll just go step by step. So the risk number one that I always say is that stock market works in a very mysterious way. Okay, now when you really think that the market is going to go up, oh, the market will decide to go down. It always happens. It always happens. So whenever you trade something, or whenever you make sure that, okay, you made sure that the market is going up, you got a proper trend, and then you open the contract, and then after just 5 minutes the market will start going down, and you will say, oh man, what happened, and things like that. So market works in mysterious ways. There are a lot of reasons for that, but we don't really care about what the reasons are. We just need to just make sure that we are aware about that the market is works in mysterious way, right? Second risk is that the market opens gap up or gap down. It happens all the time. If today the market has closed at 12,000, so tomorrow the market now will never open at, or will almost not open at 12,000. It will open maybe 5-10 points up, or 50 points up, or 5-10 points down, or 50 points down. It doesn't matter. I've seen market opening maybe 100 points up or down. So in my trading career, so just be aware about this. Okay. Risk number three is implied volatility. Implied volatility, it is like when there is a whenever there is a expiry around, or whenever there is a big announcement that is going to come up by finance minister, or somebody, the market tends to go up and down in a very rapid space. In that case, the volatility actually increases, and your premiums will also increase or decrease, in a way that if you are a very good trader, and if you have very good knowledge about options, this implied volatility can be your friend, can be your ally, and you can make really lot of money if you can really play with this. Okay. Fourth risk is liquidity. Now, what do I mean by liquidity? Liquidity meaning that you should be able to sell whenever you want, or whenever you should be able to buy whenever you want, whatever you want. Okay. Now in options, what happens is there is always like the trade happens between two people. So one person is selling, the other person is buying, or one person is buying, the other person is selling. So you can be either buyer or seller or the other way. So liquidity, meaning that the Nifty has maximum liquidity because there are, like, crores and crores of contracts open for this Nifty. Okay. Now which means that there are crore people sitting there, and then you are trying to buy something or sell something. Almost everybody, you can do it almost immediately because there are so many people doing that, and it's always kind of auction happening, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, and it happens, right? And if you choose, like, say for example, if we choose a very remote stock like say XYZ small companies option, in that, if there are only 25 contracts open, say for example 25 contracts open, which means that there are only 25 people who are going to trade with you, or the chances of you trying to sell something and those 25 people trying to buy something, it's very rare situation it happens. So you might have to wait for maybe an hours together, or maybe half a day. Once you have put the contract, once you have put an order, it might take a half a day to get executed. But not with Nifty. It takes like few seconds at the most, because there are so many things. So liquidity is a very big risk, and you should always open the contracts where there is a maximum number of people who are dealing with, so that you will have a very good liquidity, and you'll be able to execute your trades whenever you want, and at whatever rate you really wish to. Okay. So, and the next risk number 5 is that it's all virtual. It's all virtual, meaning that in case of stocks and mutual funds, like when you pay the money, you get the stocks in your account. You get the stocks in your account, and when you get the stocks, it's like physical. It stays there in your demat account unless and until you sell it. But in case of options, there is always an expiry date, and there are a lot of other factors as well, but it's just virtual. Stock options is just like promise you are doing. You are doing a promise to somebody to buy something or sell something before a certain date or something. So this is all virtual, and if you'll have to really change your head or change your thinking process. If you are coming from stocks or mutual funds background or something, you'll have to change your mentality or change your thinking process completely in order to understand the options market, because it's all virtual here. We'll go into more details about how virtual and this thing when we go to that particular risk video. So today just the summary, so that's about it. And risk number 6 is that premium is not in sync with the market movement. Now this is again very important thing. Now if the market goes say 50 points up, the premium might not go 50 points up. It could go maybe 10 points or 5 points up. Or maybe if the market has gone up 20 points, the premium might actually go maybe 2 points, 5 points below. It happens all the time. So this is one of the risks that always happens. Please look into my video about premiums not in sync with movement to get more details about it. But this is the 6 number risk. And risk number 7, no knowledge. No knowledge is like a very biggest risk here. Now what happens is that when the market is on, and when you have contracts open, and when the market reacts in certain way, the premiums, they really go up and down very fast. So you should be able to react very fast, and to do this you should really have a knowledge, and very deep knowledge about put call, put sell, call sell, put buy, call buy. These 4 concepts, these are very important. So you need to have complete knowledge. No knowledge is like it is going to, you are going to feel like you are standing in right in middle of one big crossing, and suddenly all the crossing has become green, and all the vehicles are approaching you, and now you are standing there praying, something like that, in a utter confusion basically. Okay, that's what is going to happen if you don't have sufficient knowledge. So just make sure that you have good knowledge. And too much knowledge, risk number 8, too much knowledge is also risky. Now why I'm saying that is because there is a big financial world out there, and the more knowledge you have, the more things you are going to really doubt yourself or double check yourself, and that creates a problem sometimes. So that's why I'm considering it as a risk. It might not be risk actually, but for me, what I am trying to say to my viewers and to my friends is that you don't need the knowledge of stocks, options, commodity market, currency market, and all other stuff. You don't need that knowledge. If you are dealing in options, you need maximum focus knowledge only about options. That's it. If you want to trade in options, just stick with that. Now futures is also kind of derivative, but I don't know a small bit also about future. Currency market, I know little bit about that, but I have never traded in currency market, so I don't know. But options I have traded, like say for last 10, 20 years around. I am working in options, so only options. So even if somebody says, oh, you know what, there is a currency market and it's very good, you should try to do trading in currency market, I say, yeah, I'm really very sorry, I'm very happy with whatever I know or whatever. So it's just a means or tools of earning money or making money or investing. Options is as good as any another tool. So I just want to stick with whatever I know, and just this knowledge is important. That's it. Okay. Risk number 9 is who is on the other side of your contract. Now remember that you are a very retail investor with just 5 lakh rupees as an investment, but on the other side with whom you are doing contract, those are all the shrewd investors, and they have lots and lots of money, crores and crores of money, and they will put all their resources in order to make this particular contract with you. And just make sure that we can beat all these big people, big giants, only with knowledge, and I cannot stress it enough. And also there are few tools within inside options that will help us as well. So so that is the number risk. So just be aware that there is very shrewd trader sitting on the other side of the table who is behind your money. So just make sure how we can protect money, right? So this is one thing. And next risk is, like, there are too many strategies to choose from. There are really too many strategies. Now it's again based on your trading behavior. There are high risk, high gain strategies to low risk, low gain strategy. So like whole spectrum is there. Now how, where you want to take, how much risk and how much reward you want to take, or how less risk and how less reward you want to take, it is your choice. It is your choice. So options are not risky as such. Options give you all the different ways to trade. How you trade or how you are doing the trading, that is what is the risk actually. So I would say the trading behavior is the biggest risk, rather than the market having so many strategies or something. All these are good strategies. Like in our strategies section, we'll go through some small basic strategies about these options, how you can trade very safely, and how you can protect your capital, and try to get consistent small profits, but consistent profit. So there are a lot of strategies. We'll work through that in the strategies video, but right now just understand that there are a lot of different strategies to choose from, and when the market is live and if you start designing the strategy, at that time it is too late. We have to properly plan what you really want to do, and then only you can proceed further. So, and these are the 10 strategies that we have discussed. Now 11, 12, 13, 14, all these 4 strategies are related to your trading behavior. Like the first strategy is like 11th strategy is like you try to be hero, which means that you have a lot of ego in you, and you try to do the revenge trades or something, and then you really go into bad phase. It's really very bad if you try to do that. We'll discuss about this again in more details later on. Next 12 number strategy is you wait for a market to recover. Now in the options and in mutual funds, you can, if you have purchased something, if the market goes down, you can always wait for years together if you really have to, for that market to come up, right? But in options, there is an expiry date, and that is the biggest problem. So you have to always be mindful of the expiry date, and based on that, whether you should decide whether you should wait to recover, market to recover, or you should just get out, take the loss and get out, or take the profit and get out, right? Risk number 13 is impatience. Now, impatience meaning that, like, sometimes if you open a trade, there is hardly anything happens for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, until the market again comes back, right? So sometimes you get really very impatient. Yeah, what is this boring thing that is happening, and and then you start to open some trade, close some trade, and then that's where the problem starts, right? So impatience is another thing. And risk number 14 is discipline. Everybody in the world, or whatever finance thing you might be seeing, whatever finance videos you are seeing, that people might say that you need to be having a proper discipline, and I am also one of them. I should also say that discipline is really very important. You should plan properly and just stick to your discipline, stick to your routine, and you should be okay. Okay, so these are like 14 risks that we are going to discuss in next 14 subsequent videos. So please stay tuned, and if you need any if you need to download this presentation, please visit our website www.TheIndianOptions.com and download it from there. You'll have to become a member though. Thank you very much for watching our channel, and please subscribe this and please share this with your friends. Have a nice day. Bye bye.